here's the first rule of lunch beers. Always go with a 16 ounce because you still just had one beer. The bigger the beer, the better. That's typically why when you go to walk-ons or somewhere like that, you always get the tall boy. You don't ever get the short one because you only had a beer at the end of the day.
Yeah. Is that for whenever, you're driving home? Anybody asks, I only had a beer.
Yeah, if you get pulled over, you had a beer.
Yeah.
I think that's completely fine. All right, so what's the point of this whole show we're doing?
I don't know.
Why are we doing
this?
this?
And I don't know why. I don't know how I got here. And I think we need to be fully honest that we almost killed each other setting all this up.
All right, so tell them about the first time that me and you did something like this.
So we lived in Lafayette. Why? I think we kind of had an understanding that podcasting and media was like a new sensational, you can make traffic with that thing, and we wanted to do a podcast. I think that's really the extent of it.
Yeah.
So we created a podcast.
I forgot what was the point of the podcast?
There wasn't a point. It was called Southern Accents, and it was me and you just. Actually, it's very similar to this.
But it was way more awkward because I feel like we just looked at each other.
It wasn't for nothing. We posted the podcast. We had a listener.
Yeah, wait, no. The best part was that we posted.
We
this.
did.
We did an episode. It's still out there. I don't really.
No,
know.
I think we deleted it after he messaged us because it was embarrassing.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure it's deleted.
It was whenever I discovered how easy it was to go put a podcast up because it's super simple to go on any of the platforms and get your podcast up, and so we did that. But so the best part was we let this thing live on podcast for I don't know, feels like a few months.
Yeah.
And I went all in on it. So I'm a nerd, and I set up the email and I set up different things. And one day Hailey gets this email that's thanking her for the podcast. It was something like that for the subject line.
Yeah.
And what was that? What did she say in the email? It was something hilarious.
It was I think it was a guy, and he had gotten a role.
Okay, go ahead.
The harder you hit it doesn't mean it's gonna work. That's okay.
We're losing eyes. Go ahead.
It was a guy. He reached out to us, and it was like, "Thank you for your podcast. We really enjoyed it, but not for the reason you think."
He didn't say it like that. That sounds sketchy. How you just laid it out.
No, it really was. It was like basically he was in LA, and he was auditioning for a southern role in a movie, and he was having trouble getting the accents down. So I think he went to podcasts and typed in Southern accents. We popped up and he listened to our podcast about nothing. But he was like, I didn't really enjoy the podcast, but I liked hearing how you speak.
He straight up told me, he said, he straight up said in that email, like, oh yeah, your accents were so helpful in helping me get this role. And I'm like,
and he never told us the movie. And I like to think that it was a very famous person.
It was probably Chris Pratt.
A very important role, and we helped them a lot.
Yeah, they wouldn't be where they are without us.
You're welcome.
So this is our second time doing something like this. This whole concept, I know that I'm the one that's kind of spearheaded it. This was your idea. Then I'm the one that hears that, and I just take off and run with it.
Well, Lunch Beers started when we started the company, but it was every Friday at noon we'd knock off work and we would go eat somewhere and have lunch beers.
Yeah.
And we would essentially just talk about business, our work day, our work week, pits and peaks. We've done that for years, and so we decided to incorporate that into our new product, Web Pulse, because it's a core of who we are.
If you could make this show anything, you always listen to Juicy Scoops.
Juicy Scoop and the Vial Files.
And the Vial Files. So, I mean, do you want this to be like that?
If we could interview some celebrities, hell to the yes.
We can interview celebrities. I know a lot of famous people.
Oh, okay.
But
well,
we have to build the audience up.
I think it could be like interviewing business owners around town, but in a lighthearted way. I don't want it to be like stuffy. I want it to be fun. Pulse, regardless, like being a business owner is just not for the faint of heart. You deal with a lot of crap on a day-to-day basis, and I just think that bringing an energy that's fun and lighthearted and telling funny stories and joking with people is
Yeah.
going to be a good change of pace.
Well, and also like trying to get away from the typical stuff because I'm a nerd that listens to a lot of audiobooks, listens to a lot
you're
of
definitely
podcasts.
a nerd.
And the problem is all of the like business podcasts or any of that stuff, they're all identical. And
Yes.
they kind of get aggravating to listen to a certain extent. And I feel like everybody's always super polished.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to get people drunk. And we're going to see what happens after they get drunk. Let's go ahead and tell them about the best comment that we received on all of our advertising this week. I'm gonna
Well,
let you do it.
actually, probably in our advertisement history ever. So we launched an ad campaign. It's called Refresh, and it's all about refreshing your website that leads to web pulse. And the premise of the ad is that we have a buddy who we won't say his name, but we have a buddy. He shotguns a beer and throws the can, and it cuts to us, and it's like, web pulse is refreshing for your website.
I thought it was a solid
You've
shotgun.
probably seen it. We'll tag it in to where you can see the ad if you want. Solid ad. Honestly, solid shotgun.
Solid shotgun.
And it was done in one take, which is significant because we thought we were going to have to do multiple takes. He was like a one and done. It was great.
One hit wonder.
One hit wonder. And in the best way possible.
In a good way.
And we ran this ad. The ad did great. I think it got, 10,000 views?
Yeah, I think pretty close to that organically.
10,000 views.
Which is great because we're a new brand, and so
yeah,
that's fantastic
yeah,
for
700.
us. Some people were like laughing like 10,000. Like, no, that was good for us.
No, for us that's great. And then around 700 clicks to the website. We couldn't be happier with it. We got one troll that basically said that he spilled half the beer and that this is a terrible ad.
No, it said he didn't even drink half of the Coors Light. Period. Horrible ad. Period. And I thought that was great. And we talked to the person that helps us with our marketing, and she got pissed and deletes the comment. I was like, leave that comment. That was hilarious.
Well, here's where the dilemma happened, because was it a terrible ad because he didn't drink half the beer, or overall was it just a terrible ad?
Yes.
Just in theory,
if he would have completed the beer,
would it
have been
been a great ad? At what point did the ad become terrible?
We'll never know, and
We'll
I
never
don't know.
know.
I don't even know how to
But
find this person now.
That was the
them.
head scratcher, and it definitely pissed our marketing girl off, and she did delete the comment and almost responded back, but I thought it was hilarious. And I gotta give our buddy accolades. Like, yeah, it was just shaking up beer. Like, it happens. A shotgun is not clean. It's not like you're gonna spill some beer.
Oh, I literally tried to pull out my phone, but my phone was recording. I did take notes on what I wanted to talk about, and they're on that phone over there.
Well,
and I can't remember. We still got time. You keep trying to end this.
yeah.
I think this is going well.
I just have such stage fright. I'm not meant to be a star.
I think it's important for people to know what we're moving toward in the future, and also we're looking for guests, and so I have to kind of lay that out. So the idea is, all right, we're going to do lunch beers. We are going to show up to whoever the guest's place is.
Yep.
Whatever, it could be their office, their house. I don't really care. Their restaurant, if it's a restaurant owner, and we're going to set up. We're going to do the show right there in their territory.
Yes.
So
we should probably say who we are.
I'm Gerald. I'm going to introduce you. You introduce me. And this is Hailey. She is the Chief Revenue Officer of WebPulse. And we also have Seismic. It's a whole different thing. We'll talk about that later. But she is the jack of all trades. She is...
And the master of nothing.
Quit looking at the camera.
For sure. You were looking at the camera.
Anyways, she is the rock star that I make deal with all the difficult customers.
That was really sweet, actually. Thank you. This is Gerald Huffman the fourth.
Third. I'm literally the third.
Where did that
Did you
come
really?
from?
I'm literally the third.
Okay, all right.
Gerald Wayne Huffman the third.
This is Gerald Wayne Huffman the third. Also goes by Ty.
How did you mess up?
Your name? I don't know. Anyway, this is Gerald Huffman III, also known as Ty, our fearless founder and
I don't
visionary.
go by Ty anymore.
He's a visionary.
Sometimes I go by Ty.
Okay, our awesome visionary. He's the one that comes to us with all the good ideas, and we get to figure out how to implement them and bring it to the next level. Bring it to life.
90% of my ideas are not good, but 10% are awesome. And that's how we kind of kept rolling.
I would agree. Yeah. And then of the 10%, you have to put work into that 10% to make them come to life. So, but you've got some good stuff going.
So, anyways, that's our introductions. Do you have anything that you'd like to address? And by the way, we're married. I don't think we said that.
We're married.
Yes, we're married. We've worked together.
know-
Wait, the weirdest thing is that we've worked together for years, and the most often question we get is, how do we work together? With a lot of beer.
Love
And
love and patience.
for anyone wondering why you get married, this is why.
Thank you. Built-in bottle opener. I watched you do that in front of my brother-in-law, and he looked at you with the most love in his eyes and was like, "That's a cool dude." Right
You know
there.
why I can do that? It's because this ring, I love it. It's a great ring.
What about it? It's real.
It's
absolutely real.
I mean, it's definitely gold, but like it's got enough metal in it
It's
to where it
rose
won't work.
gold.
Because gold is malleable, and if it had too much gold, I couldn't.
It
do
has
this.
enough.
So, anyways, you can do this. You can't do it like if you got a good ring. This is a good solid ring. You got to have a solid. If you got if it's too high karat gold, it's that frou-frou stuff, and it won't work very well. So
Frou-frou.
this works really well.
Yeah. Anywho.
You have to build the callus though. On the top of your finger, my dad taught me this. On the top of your finger, it'll bruise for the first few times. You just have to get over that hump, and it essentially is like a callus.
Wow, you'll bruise yourself to open my beer?
It's usually for my beer, but yeah.
Chivalry is not dead.
We have our primary company is Seismic, and we've been running that for the last 7
Seismic
years.
is a full-service web development
Yeah.
company, so websites from scratch.
Yeah, and we keep getting asked like, "Oh, did Seismic go away?" The answer is no. So Seismic owns WebPulse.
Yeah.
WebPulse
is a product.
WebPulse is a product of Seismic, and WebPulse is just what we're most excited about because we think that it's going to be the future of building websites moving forward, not building things from scratch, going in and fixing what people have. So it's kind of confusing branding, but we
The reason why we thought of it is because I realize it's getting harder and harder to sell expensive websites from scratch. The market's gotten smaller.
Yeah.
People aren't as enthusiastic about it. It's just, and also people really don't value their websites. So why would they invest a ton of money in a rebuild? And every time you go to a different opinion, they're going to say, "Oh, you need to rebuild." And then in the next year, you're going to go to a different, vendor, and they're going to say, "Oh, well, we need to start over." Well, you don't have to start over with WebPulse. You can use what you already have.
The reason, again, we're doing this kind of stuff is we looked up and we're like, how do you advertise now? What's the best way to do modern advertisements? It's 100% authentic content.
Authentic. And I do think that is something worth pointing out is for years we've tried a bunch of different generic content of like graphics and this statistics and running this ad.
Hailey. And
Yeah,
post that on
like the
social media.
cheesy stuff. And I just don't, I think people are now way too good at sniffing out.
Their BS detector's high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so they really want to know you. They don't really care about the brand. They want to know who you are and what you bring to the table.
Our space, website space, is kind of weird, and there's a lot of bad actors. And I posted this on LinkedIn before, and I got roasted. But I genuinely think our industry has an awful reputation. I think web development has a terrible spot. Most people that we do business with have had a bad experience with a developer
At
in
some
the past.
point in their history.
And so, to me, that's an indication that our industry is not doing great. But we think the more we put ourselves out there, the more that we do more of these shows and we introduce more friendly faces or not so friendly faces, that it's going to benefit us by letting people connect with us on a more I want to say intimate, but I feel like that's a weird word for this.
Oh, it's intimate.
What? want
Our outro? What?
the next show to be? Like, who do you want to bring in?
I want to bring in a guest. And you know who that guest is. So let's do a preemptive
we do think
intro.
after we launch this show, we're going to get enough traffic to where we can get one of the two presidential candidates. I feel like one would come onto the show.
President Trump
or President Biden. I think we can get one of them. But if we don't get them, we're going to probably try to find a local business owner in Alexandria.
Fair.
So,
I think those are great goals.
Yeah.
Thank you to our visionaries.
All right, so what is our outro?
No, wait, I was going to do a preemptive. I was going to do a preemptive. So we're hoping to have a guest next week. Every Monday, what's our favorite Monday tradition?
Every Monday, what's our favorite Monday tradition?
If you don't answer this, I'm going to be
Every
pissed.
Monday, what's our...
Every Monday.
In the company or in our personal lives? This is so awkward.
At work. We come in every Monday. And we work, and then we say, then we go, what do you want to do?
Oh. We go to the salad station.
We go to the salad station. And once you find your perfect salad at salad station, you're addicted. You're addicted.
Is next level good, but it's very strong flavors.
Yeah. So next week we're going to share our salads, and we're going to have the owner of salad station.
Nobody gives a crap what our salads are. Like, that's a terrible tease. Next week, get to see what we put on our salad.
Well, you're the one that started talking about your salad.
That is an awful, awful teaser. Anyways, go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to have the owner of Salad Station join us next week to talk about...
We haven't necessarily confirmed this with him, but we assume he's going to do it. So
we're hoping. Either him or a potential president.
Jack, if you're listening to this, you're our next guest.
Come on, Jack.
You might not have heard it from us yet, but we want you. Back to the presidential things.
Okay. All right, cool.
All right, what's our outro? Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
Lunch
Web Pulse
fairs.
is what it is.
I'm done. I'm done.
Gosh dang it. All right. This just is what it is.
Webbles.